Space Dandy. He's a dandy guy in space. And that's it. That's the video. Space Dandy is a really weird anime I watched when I was a kid. Whenever I mention this show to people, they'll have a vague understanding of what it is, but most people I know have never seen this anime before. And I really don't blame you. I feel like the only time I've ever seen it was when it aired on Adult Swim like 10 years ago. I am fucking old, dude. Oh my gosh. And even then, I was probably only able to watch reruns of the episodes because I didn't know what a kiss anime was.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
For the most part, I remember really liking the show, but I don't remember a ton about it. So I figured today, we rewatch the series and see why it keeps popping into my head every now and then. But before I continue, if you're new here, consider subscribing. But if you really like me, check out the second channel where we do a bunch of fun stuff over there too. Okay, I won't hold you up any longer. Space Dandy first aired in January of 2014. It was animated by Studio Bones. It has 25 episodes with a pretty loose narrative outside of the first episode. Kind of like if Family Guy met anime. The only reason I ever knew about this show was because of the Adult Swim block on Sundays. Most anime fans usually have their anime awakenings from staying up late and accidentally finding a really good watch. I started watching One Piece and Naruto Shippuden that way. But anyway, Dandy. The first 3 words of the show are boobies, boobies, and boobies. Yeah, we're in for a really weird one, but you already clicked the video, so you gotta stay. And subscribe. Dandy and his little robot QT are alien hunters that are looking for their next bounty. As they go around the restaurant Boobies, they find an eventual third member of the crew, Meow. The crew is pretty standard with Dandy, our main hero, QT, the straight man, and Meow, the marketable mascot. Honestly, between me and you, I think Dandy is really cool. I know he's supposed to be like the ironic loser kind of build, but I just like him because of how cringy he is, you know? Like, he's the less cool version of Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and he's not afraid to be cringy, and you shouldn't be either. Meow tells Dandy that he knows where to get super rare aliens, but once they get there, they get tossed around like ragdolls and destroyed by a supernova, and that's it. Dandy starts the first episode by dying. And I'm pretty sure they die in multiple episodes, so don't take it very seriously. Everything escalates so quickly once they get to the planet because they start off with one huge monster and then by the end it's just one giant kaiju fight. It really reminds me of the structure of regular show because of how mundane everything starts, and then by the end it's the most absurd situation the creator can think of. In episode 6 they start off with just cleaning the ship, and I want you to guess on what happens next. A. They go to Boobies and run into the giant space ass cheek. B. They saw a girl and tried to save her from the Soup Emperor. Or C. They get in between an ongoing war of aliens that wear underpants and vests.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If you guess A, you're wrong, it's C. They get into the war so much that Meow and Dandy start fighting alongside the aliens. They even sleep with them. I'm not sure if it led into intercourse.
Sleeping arrangements?
Silly asking. Why not together on
He's pulling his cock out!
The aliens end up killing each other and setting off their bombs to destroy the planet, but QT sends Dandy his space boards from the conversation from the beginning of the episode. The scene of Dandy riding his spaceboard throughout space is honestly really cool. There's a song playing in it and it fits so well with the slow surfer kind of vibe. This is my favorite moment from season 1. On top of that, it's just a funny episode. I recommend you check this one out if you get the chance. It's really good. It's honestly crazy how well this show is animated at times. For a show that's only 25 episodes, some people had some rent due that month. People keep disrespecting Bones all crazy for My Hero, but this show is literally why they're the GOAT. This is my GOAT. Because before My Hero, before Mob Psycho, it was Space Dandy. They were going crazy with Space Dandy. Come on, get it right now. There's so many moments where the animators just go absolutely crazy. I think the coolest moments are when they have to animate the little Aloha. The fights with the ship are so loose and crazy, you can tell it just took a ton of work. The space race had some pretty good visuals too. That one had a ton of eye catchers, and if I had to guess, it was because they had so many episodes and they made too many eye catchers, so they just put them all in this one episode. That episode ended really weird because they were, of course, racing, and Dandy went so fast that he traveled 5 billion years into the future and became Buddha. Someone on Reddit said that each episode was supposed to feel like a different universe or galaxy, and the space chain that Dandy pulled in the first episode opens up a whole bunch of different realities. This is unconfirmed, but it is a cool headcanon. Some of the episodes are animated differently, and actually each episode has a different animation director, which makes a ton of sense in hindsight. Episode 9, Plants Are Living Things Too, baby. Dandy ends up on a planet inhabited by plants, and the art style mends to the story and how kinda trippy it is. There's weird color combinations to show how overgrown and advanced the plants have gotten. The episode wasn't really funny, more of a showcase of the animation really. The ending is actually quite somber. The thing the plants wanted Dandy to get was the source of their intelligence, and since Dandy destroyed it, the plants are no longer intelligent life forms. They start to go back to the original form where the plant is explaining all this to Dandy, and it just feels like you're watching somebody die. But don't worry, there's a fat meow to break the tension. Like I said before, some of these episodes aren't really that funny, so instead, these episodes kinda lean into that space dandy ethos, you know? Perfect example is episode 5. Dandy wants to get this little girl alien registered, but the Aloha Oi is repoed. So to get the ship back, Dandy has to take public transportation to the collection office to go get his ship out the impound. It's kinda clear that they don't like each other by the start of the episode. They tell each other about how much they hate each other. But let me put you on before you keep watching. The song that plays in the episode is called Shiritai, and it's really good. You see a montage of them going through space, getting to know each other while getting to their destination. It's oddly nostalgic because I remember watching this scene for the first time as a kid, and I almost immediately tried to find the song. I listened to the song so much that I forgot how good the actual scene was. Man, this whole episode was good. Dandy has an argument with the alien girl about leaving for the night, and he goes on about how nothing can stop him from going to boobies. But he's really trying to help find the girl's grandfather. You feel bad for both parties because they just started opening up to each other, but a simple explanation could have fixed everything. He really had her best interest at heart, but he just couldn't say it, you know? The soundtrack that plays is really nice. It's kind of like a slow pop kind of vibe, and the title of the track is literally called Dandy in Love. Not in a groomer type of way, but a father and a daughter kind of love. You can tell how much he cares about the girl, and it shows how much of a good guy Dandy really is. This was a really good episode with a great soundtrack to go with it. You just have to check this episode out, seriously. There's another episode in season 2 where Dandy is dead, I'm pretty sure. He's in a robe and his comm device isn't working, so let's be real, Dandy is fucking dead again. Also, Dandy looks a lot more anime than usual. This episode talks about life, death, joy, and sadness, and how each of these ideas need each other to exist. The planet was talking to Dandy through some sort of projection, and she tells him about the history of the planet and how it came to be. The planet is also able to send Danny to another dimension where he doesn't die, but she uses up all her power. They have an exchange where Dandy says, "Whether I'm alive or dead, I'm still pretty dandy." And I was like, whoa, that was pretty hard. I went looking around for the ending of the actual episode, and people were saying that no matter how many times Dandy dies, he's just gonna get sent to another dimension with Limbo, and that universe's Limbo will send him to another dimension. I don't know, I'm just the guy that's making the video. I want to talk about the ending of the show, but not really for the plot, just what happens at the very end. Some of the other characters try to team up to save Dandy, and he decides that he'll be the one to sacrifice himself in order to save everyone. As he's going up though, he looks like he's in a ton of pain, and he's about to cry seeing his friends. You know what keeps him going? Seeing a little bit of ass, just a tiny bit, just a slither of ass keeps him going. That powers him up and allows him to become God. He declines the position and goes back to the beginning of the series. Apparently all the stuff that happened throughout the series was real and did happen in different universes, but it was just a different Dandy, I think. I don't know, honestly, you can look it up if you really want to be into the Dandy lore yourself. It's just a bunch of multiverse mumbo jumbo, and I don't really care for it. Honestly, this was the best conclusion for the show, and it kind of left off on a cliffhanger saying, maybe next time? But if they really wanted to make a new Dandy series, it would have been out by now. The series is almost a decade old at this point, but never say never. I really hope you check out this anime after watching this video because it really is an underrated classic. There's really no other anime like it, and you should at least experience it once. There are a ton of episodes that I didn't talk about in this video that are also really good. I'm glad I was able to revisit this anime again, and I'm excited for the next time I'm able to rewatch it. Also, I need to take a trip to one of the restaurant chains in this show. What's it called again? Boobies!